President Donald Trump has upended 3 years of U.S. policy toward Ukraine, saying he and Russian President Vladimir Putin have agreed to begin negotiations on ending the war, following a dramatic prisoner swap. The Republican said that he and Putin held a lengthy phone call today, during which they committed to work together very closely to bring the conflict to an end. President Donald Trump spoke to his Russian and Ukrainian counterparts today. In a social media post, Trump said he and Russian President Vladimir Putin discussed various issues, including Ukraine, the Middle East, and artificial intelligence. The Kremlin also confirmed that Putin talked over the phone with Trump. He last spoke to a sitting U.S. president in February 2022 when he had a call with Joe Biden shortly before ordering thousands of troops into Ukraine.
One of the interesting points in this readout is the topic of Ukraine. The Kremlin says Trump spoke in favor of putting an end to the hostilities in Ukraine as soon as possible. Putin also mentioned eliminating the root causes of the conflict and agreed with Trump that a long-term ceasefire can be achieved through peace talks. So obviously the Kremlin there saying, look, the root causes need to be eliminated. That's something that they had been saying in the past as well, that this was a larger conflict.
Trump also spoke to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy for about an hour, according to a Ukrainian spokesperson. In a post, Trump said the conversation went very well and that Zelenskyy, like Putin, wants to make peace.
I myself just spoke to the president about these calls, and he told me to tell all of you they were very good calls, they were very positive, and the administration is wholeheartedly committed to a peace deal to end once and for all the Russia-Ukraine war.
The move comes one day after the Kremlin released an American teacher, Mark Fogel, from jail.
What were the terms of this deal, Mr. President?
Very fair, very fair, very reasonable, not like deals you've seen over the years. They were very fair. And I think that's going to lead, and somebody else is being released tomorrow that you will know of, but we wanted to get this done, very important.
According to a Trump administration source, accused Russian money launderer Alexander Vinnik was released from U.S. custody in exchange for Fogel. Also today, the State Department announced 3 political prisoners were released from Belarus. An official says the U.S. did not give anything in exchange for the release, and that the European country is looking to improve ties.
We are very excited to welcome the release of these 3 hostages from Belarus, one a U.S. citizen. We work day in, day out overseas for these kinds of wins, and it is a big day for Team America, for the President, for the Secretary of State. We just welcomed them here a few minutes ago.
Meanwhile, in Belgium, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said Ukraine becoming a member of NATO is not possible, and the country will have to make some concessions to end the war.
We want, like you, a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine. But we must start by recognizing that returning to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders is an unrealistic objective. Chasing this illusionary goal will only prolong the war and cause more suffering. The United States does not believe that NATO membership for Ukraine is a realistic outcome of a negotiated settlement.
The issue is the tone. His first appearance at a key meeting like this, he's shooting down 2 things that Ukraine desperately wants. And the third one, they want to see any peacekeeping force involve US troops, because without it, they kind of think it's meaningless. They may have a point, and he said that's just not going to happen.
More details on the potential peace proposal are expected after a meeting between Zelenskyy and Vice President J.D. Vance, which is expected to take place in Munich later this week.